Straight ahead on Falcon Weekly.
Greek Week officially kicks off. See what challenges UM's fraternities and sororities will be competing in.
Also, faculty member is translating a German play and bringing it to campus. Find out about the production in a live interview with the director.
Plus, Rolling Stone magazine is in hot water after a new report finds several inaccuracies in its reporting of a rape investigation at the University of Virginia. Find out why the authors of the report are calling the piece a failure of journalism.
And good news for tired college students. Find out why experts say a sleepy mind may be a good thing. Falcon Weekly starts now.
Hello and welcome to Falcon Weekly. I'm Hannah Bell.
And I'm Kirsten Roberts. Thanks so much for joining us. In campus headlines, Greek Week activities will get underway Tuesday.
Rain forced Monday's relay race to be delayed by a day. In addition to the relay, teams will also compete throughout the week in a game of mega musical chairs, a trivia contest, and a talent show. Greeks will also hear a message of Greek leadership from Speaker Rashid Ali Cromwell Tuesday night. The week will wrap up with the community-wide service project, The Big Event, Saturday morning. Voting is underway for college night side leaders. Members of Purple and Gold sides who are eligible to vote have until Wednesday at 3 p.m. to cast their ballot on OrgSync. Winners will be announced Wednesday at 4 p.m. at Palmer. Registration for summer and fall 2015 is now open for grad students. It opens Tuesday for seniors and students with priority registration. Juniors may begin registering Thursday and sophomores on April 13th. Freshman registration starts April 15th. Remember, to register, you must first meet with your advisor. You should also check to make sure that you don't have any holds on your account.
The Shelby County Sheriff's Office reports a recent rise in car break-ins across the county. Over the past month, the officials say victims are not often taking simple steps necessary to keep their valuables safe. Falcon Weekly's Elise Hardigan shows us what we can do to protect our vehicles and belongings.
It can be easy to forget the small things, like locking a door. But that can make all the difference.
Sometimes I just forget, most of the time I just don't worry about it.
With a recent increase in car break-ins, vehicle owners around Shelby County should take extra care to keep their valuables safe. Police Chief Chad Adams cautions against enabling what he calls crimes of opportunity like these.
People that leave their computers and change and money or electronic equipment in the cars as they walk around and see them, then they're easy targets.
The Sheriff's Office says the recent rash of burglaries often take place in broad daylight in busy areas, such as parking lots and neighborhoods. Here in Montevallo, students say they do lock their cars, but not every time.
I always try to, but I think sometimes I'll forget.
I have started to keep my car locked more recently.
According to their website, 4 cars were recently broken into along Highway 280, all of which were unlocked and in neighborhoods. So what can you do to protect yourself? Don't keep valuables like these in the open. Instead, put them under a seat or, to be on the safe side, in your trunk. But the most important tip of all, keep your car locked at all times. Chief Adams also suggests parking in well-lit areas around other cars.
So far, knock on wood this year, we've been very fortunate. It's not to say that it hasn't happened, it's just we haven't seen a dramatic increase and rise on campus.
Reporting for Falcon Weekly, I'm Elise Hardigan.
For more tips about car safety, visit the UMPD website. We've placed a link on the Falcon Weekly Facebook page.
The university is supporting the Safe House and the Crisis Center SANE program by having a clothing and toiletry drive.
The drop-off boxes will be located in the library, the CAF, the SAC, and Farmer Hall, as well as the counseling service office from April 6th to April 10th. UM's theater students are preparing for their production of A Good Person of Shedzwan. Falcon Weekly's Mary Kate McCarrick joins us live from the newsroom with the play's director, Chan Harris. Mary Kate?
Thanks, Kirsten. I'm here with Chan Harris, director of the University of Montevallo's production of The Good Person of Szechuan. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here.
How long have you and your team been working on the show?
Well, we had auditions in before we left for last semester, so that week before finals, and cast the show before that happened. And I was working on it all through Christmas break, and then we came back and college night happened, and everybody disappeared, of course. But then once college night was over, we've been working since then. So we've been 7 weeks in rehearsal, I guess, not including spring break last week. Well, I mean, we didn't rehearse last week, but anyway.
Okay. And what's the main central issue in the play?
Well, it's really a play about what is good. What does it mean to be good? The story is that the gods come down and they're on a mission to find good people on Earth so that the Earth doesn't get destroyed. And they meet this prostitute named Shantae, who everybody says is such a good person. And so they end up giving her a bunch of money, and so she buys a tobacco shop, and suddenly everybody wants something. It's like winning the lottery, you know, like everybody's writing you to go, I have this, I need my children, they don't eat. And so all her money starts to get taken away. And so she has to create an alter ego that has to do the dirty work for her. She has to basically split herself in two so that she can be good to herself. And so the question is, can you be good to yourself and good to other people at the same time?
And you translated this play yourself from German to English. What was that like?
I'll never do that again. No, it was, it's actually really great. I actually really loved it because it's like writing a new play, except the structure's already there. I mean, I suppose if I knew a story, then maybe I could write a play. The hard thing is trying to retain the spirit of the language. Like a lot of the way that it's written is, for example, the gods speak like bureaucrats in German. It's this very kind of like awkward language that doesn't translate well in English. So you have to find another way to do that. So I kept giving them kind of like aphorisms, you know, like the wind will rise when the reed is low or whatever. And the townspeople all speak this overly polite German, and German's not a polite language to begin with. So it sounds ridiculous. But English is a fairly polite language, and so it just doesn't work as well. It sounds like people are just pretentious, you know. So it was fun. I liked it, and I ended up rewriting it for my cast because once I kind of knew them better, I could sort of write it for their mouths, and I like a lot better what happened on the second or third translation that I did. So,
and what do you want the audience to take away from this play once they're done seeing it? What do you want them to be thinking about, like when they're on their way home?
The carpet. I don't know, you know? I mean, what does it mean to be good, I guess? Actually, I just want them to laugh and have fun, really, ultimately. You know, I'd love it to be like this high vaunted experience, but in truth be told, I just want them to have a great time, you know, and a spoonful of sugar, as they say.
And I know it's not a musical, but I've heard about the mashups that you've made for the show.
Yeah. I just find mashups so interesting anyway. And this show is a mashup in a lot of ways because Brecht, even when he talks about where it's set, he says it's set in a Europeanized, or a Szechuan, the capital city of Szechuan, which is Europeanized. Meaning it's not really, because he took it from a 14th century Chinese news article. And so it's already a mashup, and then we just sort of threw a lot of late 20th century. And so I thought, well, how much fun would it be then to just like make all these really weird mashups? Because it's the association of like, you know, things that are put together, you know. So I've done it in a lot more ways. It's a mashup in a lot more ways than just the music.
And as for ticket information, there will be 4 showings of The Good Person of Szechuan, April 10th and 11th at 7:30 p.m. and April 12th at 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $8 for students and $12 for general admissions. And for more ticket information, you can call the box office at 205-665-6200. Thank you so much for coming and making time in your schedule to talk to us.
So my pleasure. I'm so glad I could be here. Come see it.
Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mary Kate. In other campus news, the chapter of the National Broadcasting Society took top honors over spring break in the NBS convention in Atlanta, Georgia. They won first place in the on-the-spot competition for their Instagram video titled, "When It's Not NBS, It Shows." To see the full video, check out the chapter's Instagram. Just search for @UM_NBS.
The Birmingham Zoo is celebrating its 60th anniversary, and they would like to share this milestone with the Shelby County residents and the University of Montevallo family. The zoo will host a Shelby County Day, Saturday, May 30th. All Shelby County residents and UM employees and students will receive a 50% off general admission. You must provide your driver's license, employee, or student ID. For more information, visit the Birmingham Zoo website. In headlines from across Alabama, after 30 years on death row, 58-year-old Anthony Ray Hinton was released Friday. Hinton was convicted of 2 Birmingham murders, but has now been cleared of all charges. According to forensic experts, they could not determine that the bullets at the crime scene matched the gun found in Hinton's home. Hinton says he will continue to pray for the victim's family, and as he has done for the last 30 years.
An Alabama baby born without a nose is a viral sensation after his story spread on social media.
Baby Eli spent an entire month in the hospital before he was given the okay to leave. Jasmine Williams has the story.
Underneath the tubes, medical tape, and heavy breathing, Brandy McGlathery is holding on to her little miracle Eli. After carrying him for 9 months, he's finally home, wrapped in her arms. It was also in her arms in her delivery room when she realized something was wrong.
He was delivered, and the doctor put him on my chest, and as his dad, Troy, was cutting the cord, I kind of pulled him down, pulled him back so I could get a better look at him. And I stood there for a second, and then I said, something's wrong with him. And my doctor said, no, he's perfectly fine. I said, no, he doesn't have a nose.
Her initial excitement shattered with their first embrace. Eli was born without a nose, nasal passage, or sinus cavities. The disorder's so rare there's reportedly only 38 other people in the whole world with cases like this. Doctors at USA Children's and Women's Hospital in South Baldwin were baffled by the baby. His mother's ultrasounds and tests showed there was no sign anything was wrong.
He said, Brandy, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how this happened, but you're right. He doesn't have a nose.
Within hours of his birth, Eli was whisked away to specialists. His daily life now includes a tube to make breathing and feeding easier, and there will be several surgeries in his near future.
The life that was normal to us before isn't going to be the same anymore. I mean, it has to change in order to fit with him.
Extra care for his new parents and also lots of love. At 6 pounds, 8 ounces, it's hard for them to keep their eyes off their miracle baby, their little bundle of joy.
A GoFundMe account has been created to help assist with medical procedures. So far, more than $35,000 has been raised. Just search for Falcon Weekly on Facebook and Twitter to see more stories and news updates throughout the week.
Still ahead on Falcon Weekly, one family's vacation almost turns deadly at a Caribbean resort. See what invisible danger is to blame.
Plus, the Easter Bunny is supposed to bring candy, but this one brought something illegal to one Oklahoma woman.
And find out what foods can make a sickness a little more bearable on this week's Health Minute. Those stories and more when Falcon Weekly returns. Welcome back to Falcon Weekly. Rolling Stone's magazine is in hot water after an in-depth investigation uncovered multiple flaws in the magazine's reporting.
The report centered on a now discredited story about a gang rape at the University of Virginia at a fraternity. Reporter Andy Rose has the details.
The authors of the investigation were blunt.
This report is very much intended as a piece of journalism about a failure of journalism.
The Columbia School of Journalism was tasked with finding out what went wrong in Rolling Stone magazine's November article about an alleged rape at the University of Virginia. The account told the story of Jackie, who claimed she was gang raped at the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity house. Police say there's no evidence this rape occurred.
Flat out, whose fault was this?
Well, it was the collective fault of the reporter, the editor's supervisor, and the fact-checking department.
Columbia's review found no one lied or invented facts. The reporting staff will get a second chance. Rolling Stone says no one will be fired, including the story's writer, Sabrina Rubin Erdely. She said in a statement that, quote, "These are mistakes that I will not make again." Columbia's report found that Erdely and her editors failed to corroborate Jackie's story with the friends who were with her that night, did not do enough to get a response from the fraternity, and were not aggressive enough in making sure the details provided by Jackie were accurate. Will Dana, the managing editor, released a statement last night saying in part, "We would like to apologize to our readers and to all those who were damaged by our story and the ensuing fallout."
We pointed out systemic and institutional problems. We leave it up to Rolling Stone to decide how best to deal with these problems.
I'm Andy Rose reporting.
The fraternity at the center of the Rolling Stone article, Phi Kappa Psi, is pursuing legal action against the magazine.
A drug bust with an Easter twist. Authorities in Oklahoma found $30,000 worth of meth stuffed inside a toy Easter bunny. Police intercepted the bunny in the mail and found about a pound of meth inside. An officer posed as a FedEx delivery man delivered the package to the suspect. The woman admitted the drugs were sent to her for distribution. She is being held on $75,000 bond.
A Delaware family's dream vacation turned into a nightmare after their hotel room was sprayed with a banned and powerful pesticide. It caused the family to become ill, and some family members are even in a coma. Nick Valencia has more on the story.
This morning, a criminal investigation underway at this luxury hotel in St. John's in the U.S. Virgin Islands after a family of 4 on vacation from Delaware was allegedly poisoned by methyl bromide, a deadly pesticide commonly used in agriculture.
It couldn't have happened to a better family and better people, and they're all around. They're one of those families that everyone likes to be around.
The company, who rents out a villa at the Siren-Yusa Resort, told CNN the pest control company Terminex fumigated the lower unit on March 18th, right in the middle of the family's stay. The odorless, nearly undetectable gas attacks the lung and nervous system, causing respiratory and heart failure. So toxic, it's banned from use indoors within the U.S. Even the World Meteorological Organization says methyl bromide is so destructive, it significantly contributes to the thinning of the Earth's stratospheric ozone layer.
It's really scary to think that this could happen to somebody that you know.
The father, Steve Esmond, was found in a coma while his sons 14 and 16 and their mother, Teresa Devine, were having severe seizures, according to the family's lawyer. The parents' condition improved after the family was airlifted back to the U.S. The mother released from the hospital, but the attorney said on Saturday both of the boys remain in a coma. Terminex told CNN in a statement that they are, quote, looking into this matter internally and cooperating with authorities, and they join the community in wishing them a speedy recovery. Nick Valencia, CNN, New York.
We saw some rain on campus today.
So will we see more rain this week? Let's go to Falcon Weekly's Jacob Bopes for a look at this week's weather. Jacob?
Thanks, guys. I guess after such a nice spring break, we were due for a little wet weather. It's been raining on and off all day and expect it to continue into the night, possibly bringing a little thunder and lightning with it. Anyway, as the week goes on, things will be fairly nice for the most part. Expect highs in the 70s and 80s and lows in the 50s and 60s. There's a chance of rain this upcoming Friday and possibly a little thunder too. But most of the rest of the week it'll be cloudy or partly cloudy. Basically a really dull and average week. But you know what isn't average? Achoo! The pollen count. This week's pollen has been some of the highest it's ever been. So those of you who suffer from pollen allergies may need to start taking some medicine for it, even if you haven't had symptoms yet. Allergies are most effectively treated if treated before they start showing up. And remember, pollen has a lot of ways of getting into your home. It can hitchhike on your hair, your clothes, or your pets. So be sure to wash all those regularly, even if your pet poodle hates a bath. Adding something like an air filter to your home is also a great way to reduce allergies. Pollen counts are very high, but if you treat it and get ahead of them, you can have a great spring. For more on allergies, back to Hannah at the desk. Hannah?
Thanks, Jacob. Now for a look at today's health headlines. Allergy season is here, and if you're not feeling your best, there are some foods that can make you feel a little bit better.
Mary Maloney has details in today's Health Minute.
When you're under the weather, the last thing you want to do is eat something that'll make you feel worse. So what's the best thing to eat when you're sick? It all depends on what's ailing you. For diarrhea, it's the BRAT diet. BRAT stands for bananas, rice, applesauce, and toast. But stay away from dairy and artificial sweeteners. If you're constipated, eat fiber-rich foods which stimulate digestion. Foods like whole grain breads, beans, and prunes are your best bet. What about headaches? Just add water. Dehydration is a common cause of headaches. Caffeine in small doses can also help ease your aching head. If you've got a rash, it could be an allergy, so keep an eye on what foods might trigger it. However, foods high in omega-3 and protein can help. These include salmon and flaxseed oil, which promote healthy skin. A runny nose can be annoying. Try drinking ginger tea and a steamy shower. Spicy foods, however, can make your nose run more. And remember, if the symptoms last for more than a few days, check with your physician. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
If you're taking medications, make sure the food you eat won't interact badly with your prescriptions.
Are you someone who often stays up late at night? New studies suggest that you may have a higher risk of developing diabetes and other health problems if you are a night owl. Researchers say staying up too late could lead to a lack of sleep and late-night eating habits, which alter the metabolism. The study from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism also says that night owls have a higher chance of losing muscle mass. Do you find that you work best when you're tired? In a study by Albion University, being tired may help you solve problems that require insight. Researchers gave over 400 students insight-based questions at different times of the day. Students did better when they were tired. The idea is that when you're sleepy, you have less control over your thoughts, which can lead to creative outcomes. Experts say that the best times of day to tackle a creative project are in the morning or mid-afternoon. UM's baseball roll a nationally ranked team as PBC plays come to an end.
And one men's track and field runner brings home an individual title. Sports is next.
Welcome back to Falcon Weekly. I'm Umar Nadir with a look at this week's sports. The UM's men's track and field team placed third out of 8 teams April 3rd at Birmingham Southern College Twilight Invitational, giving a stellar performance. Runner Darius Woody, UM's standout, claimed the 800-meter individual title with a time just under 1 minute and 59 seconds, a full second ahead of the runner-up. Now to baseball, where the Falcons crushed nationally ranked Armstrong State University 10-0 away at Savannah, Georgia, April 4th in the final game of PBC play. Currently 12-7 at home, the Falcons will play their next home match on April 10th against Columbus State University. The UM softball team fell twice in a doubleheader to 8th-ranked North Georgia Saturday, April 4th. The women are 10-9 at home and will be playing Delta State University at the Orr Park Field on April 8th. Summing up sports, the women's tennis team fell 5-4 to visiting North Georgia after several Nighthawk rallies and 4 different individual matchups. Seniors Nikki Polsarova and Anais Robert fought well in the #1 doubles match, winning 9-8. Polsarova is 5th ranked in intercollegiate tennis in the Intercollegiate Tennis Association. And that's a look at this week's sports. Back to you.
Thanks, Umar. Finally this week, thousands of children gathered at the White House today for the 137th annual Easter egg roll.
Children lined up to roll eggs across the White House lawn with wooden spoons. The theme of this year's egg roll was #Gimme5, and participants were encouraged to identify 5 ways that they plan to be more active and live healthier lives. The event marked the occasion of Michelle Obama's campaign to get kids to eat healthy and exercise.
That's all the time we have for this week's show. Thank you so much for joining us.
For more UM news from MassComm student reporters, be sure to check out the Falcon News Network blog. The web address is on your screen. We'll see you again next week.